Okay, I end up watching a lava lamp way more than the TV half the time. So welcome to days 10 and 11 of Gobtober. Let's see what happens. Okay, got my prompt list, got my dice. Let's see what we get. 88. A mummy. Okay, that works. Let's do that. Okay, not sure why I decided to share my thoughts about lava lamps with you at the start of this video, but seemed as good a way to start as any. So with the map today, I'm remembering to extend those routes across, and I think I'm going to try and have them maybe go all the way across this row and into the row underneath. And mummy is a nice kind of good one, so keeping it simple, keeping it readable, just having a mummy stepping out of a sarcophagus. I also decided I was going to change the kind of side-on view of things, so I've kind of got this room on a bit more of an angle, which will hopefully feed into the rest of the map. Because, yeah, I'm not sure why I started doing it. Kind of not isometric. I don't know, just seemed right, but like if I can make it isometric, I think visually it'll be more interesting, so that's what I'm shooting for. Not trying to make the mummy too complicated, just making it read, particularly when I put bandages all over him. And yeah, nice simple one today, nice easy one to kind of start the day with, because yeah, making a video every day is really hard. My hat is well and truly off to anyone who does this. It's tough, but anyway, that's the mummy today. I think he came out alright, so let's move on to the Gobtober prompt. Okay, today's Gobtober prompt is Wolf Rider. Okay, let's see what I did last year. So last year, I did this guy. I remember doing this because I kind of wanted to do something a bit more serious, but it still ended up a bit kind of quirky and funny. I kind of like how large and kind of chunky the wolf is. But I think I want to do something a bit more humorous this year, so let's see how I get on with that. Okay, so I kind of want this guy to be in keeping with the rest of the goblins I've done, so they sort of go as a set. So trying to create like a kind of mad kind of dog running for the wolf, and having the goblin holding on for dear life as he kind of sprints through the fields with hopefully a look of panic on his face. I did enjoy the Gobtober stuff last year, but as a set I don't feel it holds together particularly well, because there's a few different themes and styles going on within it. I mean, you can tell it's all done by me, but I just think thematically it doesn't tie together quite so well. So with this guy, it's kind of fun to just kind of have the wolf as more like a dog, like a family pet that maybe the goblin is trying to train. Unsuccessfully, so I imagine the dog's just seen a chicken or a cat and has kind of just ran after it, and the goblin's just trying to steer this thing. He's holding his spear. This was not what he thought being a wolf rider would be like, and having his kind of helmet fly off in the background just to kind of get that idea of momentum across. So yeah, I feel once I've nailed that pencil drawing and I get that kind of gesture in, the hard part's over, really. I did look at a bit of reference for a dog running, so I had my phone off to the side to sort of get that kind of shape going. I extended his tongue because I think it's funny to have dogs with kind of mad tongues. And yeah, when I go in with the inking, really the hard part's done, so this the inking side of it is actually just quite an enjoyable step in the process, really. I'm just adding definition and weight to the lines to sort of make it read a little better. I think this drawing was, I'm trying to remember what it said on the camera, I think it was 13 minutes this drawing. Not that it's a race, it's just I just find these quite nice to do just before I start whatever it is I've got to do that day. I had a few commissions on lately, so been quite busy with those. They're very exciting, and one of which is fairly high profile, which I will be able to talk to you all about in November when the project is released. So look forward to that, and there'll be a video on that one. But yeah, for this guy, just trying to keep him readable. Like, the whole thing should be the kind of wolf and the goblin's face. Everything else just needs to kind of draw your eye to that. So kind of keeping everything on kind of angles and everything else. And yeah, I think he turned out alright actually in the end. This was one of the ones I was a bit worried about. Anytime I have to do an animal or something that's not humanoid, I think, oh, okay, this could be problematic. But no, I think he turned out alright. I like kind of how kind of cute and slightly panicked the kind of wolf dog thing is as well. And I think they got the idea that he's moving at a decent pace as well. So yeah, and I think it's in keeping with the style of the other goblins I've done for this Gobtober, so pretty pleased with it. Yeah, it's always nice when you kind of get to challenge yourself, I think, and I think sometimes it's kind of good to be a bit worried about how something may or may not turn out. I try not to worry too much and just try to enjoy the process and kind of learn from it if it doesn't work, or even if it does work, there's still lessons to learn. And just darkening one of the legs that's underneath the kind of wolf, that's a little trick I learned a long time ago. Just adds a bit more weight to the drawing. But yeah, Gobtober day, whatever day this is, day 10, yeah. A third of the way through just about, so if you're keeping up, well done. My hat's off to you, it's not easy this. Right, okay. Okay, got the prompt list ready, got my dice. 66. Black vines. Okay, let's definitely do that. Right, so this is what's the weird thing about doing these maps to prompts, is every now and again you'll get a prompt and you'll think, God, it's like it was meant to be. So those kind of vines, though it would have been maybe a bit more useful the day before, I am able to utilize them because I'd kind of carried them across the day earlier. So it's always interesting to me how these things kind of tie themselves together. It's almost like fate or kismet if you believe in such things. I think I do a little bit. But anyway, yeah, the vines, just again, keeping it quite simple, kind of thinking maybe that's what's woken the mummy up and he's going to deal with the vines, or maybe the vines are going to deal with the mummy. And kind of trying to keep that isometric thing by blocking kind of a ruined wall off in about a third of this box for whatever comes next. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what tomorrow brings. But yeah, keeping it simple. You need these places of kind of quiet to make the image work. But yeah, pretty pleased with it on the whole. I think it went okay. Okay, today's Gobtober prompt, bait. Okay. What I did last year was a bit more of a scene thing again. So I kind of like the idea that this poor little goblin's been used as fish bait. I really like the idea, but I'm going to see if I can do it maybe more as a self-contained character this time round. Right, let's see how that turns out then. Right, so my main goal with this is just trying to make it work as a figure without kind of it being a scene type thing. And I still wanted to be kind of in keeping, so I decided to have kind of the fish kind of trying to swallow the goblin whole. And I kind of thought maybe the goblin's a fisherman, and this is the fish he's caught by using himself as bait, whether on purpose or not, I don't know. And I kind of like, I used to work, there's an animator friend of mine I used to do a lot of work with, and he always used to say my sense of humour was very dark but weirdly kind of gentle at the same time, and it always kind of stayed with me when he said that. And I think that's a good description of what I try and do. I try and make my images reasonably funny, but not like a kind of fall on the floor laughing or absurdist kind of thing, and just a kind of gentle kind of humour, a little kind of chuckle of kind of the weird things in life. And Yeah, I imagine if goblins went fishing, this would be a regular occurrence for them, really. Also, I quite like drawing fish. I've drawn and painted a lot of them over the years. I did a whole exhibition once about surreal fish. Very long time ago now, but it was a good fun exhibition. So I quite enjoy kind of just drawing kind of the anatomy of quite stylized fishes, you know, giving them kind of barnacles and lumps and things and kind of bulging eyes, and you know, giving their fins just kind of a bit of life with those lines. And yeah, just kind of thinking about that shape of that fish, thinking there's a goblin in there, so how does it all fit in, making sure the fish is the right size. And yeah, I think the fish turned out well, and it's still, I think it's still in keeping with everything else in this series so far. But yeah, kind of unexpected and a bit funny is what I hope. So if you've been following my Gobtober thing, this one will hopefully be a bit of a exclamation point and make you go, oh wow, okay, I didn't see that one coming. So yeah, and then just filling in the fish scales, much like what I do with kind of armour sometimes, and just keeping that direction going with all my little tricks to do that, and then just adding a little bit of shading on the one side and the other side to make it look like it's kind of got a big shiny bit on it. And then just go in and kind of fill in the goblin, really. You know, there wasn't too much to do with this. Like I say, I think it does what I want to do. I think it's an improvement over last year. Not that, well, I suppose I do want to improve on what I've done in previous years, but at the same time, it's a different interpretation. But yeah, ultimately, fairly happy with him. Yeah, I think if I was going to do this again, I'd maybe calm down the detail on his clothes a bit. That would be the only thing. But as always, hopefully you enjoy these videos. If you want to follow along, you can see the stills of these on my Instagram account. Head over to oddartworks.com, have a look at some prompts. All my prompts are free. And, you know, if you so declined, get a PDF of last year's Gobtober or a map, you know, if you want to support the channel. So as always, folks, if you enjoyed it, like and subscribe, give me a comment below, ring the bell, all that good stuff. It just remains for me to thank my patrons who will be popping up on screen in the moment. And yeah, as always, I will see you tomorrow, folks. Have a good one. Bye now.